Nestled high up in the mountains of Switzerland above the Lauterbrunnen Valley is the town of Mürren. This place perfectly represents what many travelers come to this country for: a chance to get away from cars and close to nature. But if walking around and sightseeing doesn't quite scratch your adventure-seeking itch, then there's something you should take a look at. Via Ferrata means the Iron Path in Italian. It's sort of like a more adrenaline rush-inducing form of hiking, where instead of walking up mountains, you're traversing a sheer cliffside via ladders, bridges, and any other means necessary. Since this was my first Via Ferrata, I decided to go with a guided group. We started this 3-hour, 1.3 mile long journey by gearing up at the Intersport shop in Mürren. To make sure we were never in danger of falling, the first thing we learned was to always be clipped in with at least one carabiner. Along this route, there are 5 unique obstacles that we will have to overcome. And we are about to begin the first and perhaps most terrifying one, the cliff walk.
Got your wingsuits, then you better.
Wow. Yeah.
The helicopters, and there's gas-based paragliders.
My hands started to sweat and my grip tightened as I stared down a 1,300-foot vertical drop down into the Lauterbrunnen Valley. I could feel my heart rate increasing as I focused on carefully clipping and unclipping after each of the many sections of cable while stepping down onto the small iron rungs drilled into the cliffside, some of which were slightly slanted, making them harder to stand on. I thought this may have been a purposeful design choice to give people an extra little jolt of fear on the most precarious steps along this obstacle. I wanted to film this section a little differently, but gripping the cable with both my hands as if my life depended on it seemed like a better idea at the time. I think this first challenge struck just the right amount of fear into my brain for it to be an incredible experience that I was glad was over. Although now I've already started planning a trip to Italy to do more of these. Now it was time to head towards the second major obstacle, the zipline. This obstacle is only available to those on guided tours. If you brought your own gear and are doing this Via Ferrata on your own, you'll have to skip this and hike around. After a short section through the woods, you'll take a ladder down to the zipline that will transport you swiftly across a waterfall.
The hands can be here.
Okay.
And go on.
Next up is the ladder section. After traversing a few warm-up ladders with stunning views, we were faced with what I consider to be the most physical part of this course. Unlike the other obstacles, this one is more about strength or endurance than overcoming fear. But if you're thinking about doing this, don't worry. You don't need to be an athlete or anything. I was just surprised at how long this section was. We climbed down ladder after ladder, having to pause and clip and unclip countless times. It takes a toll after a while, especially when some sections were very wet, causing me to grip the rungs extra hard. But I have to say, it was very fun getting into a nice rhythm after a while. There wasn't much time to rest because we were headed straight into the tightrope walk. A narrow steel cable was the only thing obstructing our view of the waterfall below. It was an amazing feeling. But to be honest, I spent most of this walk thinking about how stupid I'd look if I fell while occupying one of my hands to hold the camera. We were nearing the end with 4 obstacles down and only 1 to go. It was finally time for the suspension bridge. We were staring down a nearly 1,000-foot drop during this long, shaky walk. At the beginning and end of this bridge, there really isn't much to hold on to. You can grab onto the same cable you clip into on the right side, but the main cables holding the bridge up are too high to grab a hold of until the middle of the bridge, leaving us feeling very exposed on the left side. After being secured to this cable for 3 hours, I was beginning to feel pretty comfortable, so I made sure to take my time to soak in the amazing views both below and above. I cannot recommend this Via Ferrata enough. As soon as I was finished, I wanted to do it again, but it was time to head out on another adventure. My next video will cover an epic hike in Zermatt featuring a suspension bridge over 6 times longer than the one you just saw, so subscribe because you don't want to miss it.